Hello Space Cats! After the last week of shenanigans in the hospital with my husband, I'm very glad to say he is now home and recovering, so kind of back to normal with work stuff, which is a huge relief. Going back a couple of weeks, if you remember, I did actually complete the artwork for my first spread of my new picture book, Emily Angel, and it was this. Normally how I would work this is I would do all of the artwork because I find it gives me a better creative flow to keep going with the artwork, and then I'd sort out the text placement and even some of the editing of the text and the design at a later stage, although I do have a rough idea in my head as to what I want. But I thought for the purposes of this video and these couple of videos, it might be helpful to show you how I would approach the placement of text with the artwork that I've already done. So with that in mind, what I decided to do was record the screen and waffle as I'm thinking out loud and doing it so that you can see how it unfolds. On another completely separate note, I'm very excited about a couple of video ideas that I've got coming up. I've bought something with somebody else, which is quite exciting and I really want to get into it. It's just really more of a fun little project rather than something that I'm going to sell or even exhibit. But anyway, more of that coming up. Needless to say, it's quite exciting. And I've also got a couple of other ideas for the things that I've already made and the characters, little fairy characters that I've got going on in my head. So anyway, that's for future times. Without more waffle, I'm going to get on with the actual work of the day, and that is using Photoshop. I use Photoshop, which I have a rolling subscription for every month. It's about £22 in the UK per month, but I absolutely find it's completely worth it. I've used Affinity before. That's okay. It is definitely cheaper, but more affordable, but it also doesn't have some of the features that Photoshop has. It's not quite as user-friendly for me, but you can also do things on Canva, and I've just helped somebody create a book and she did everything on Canva, so it's definitely doable free as well. I'm not sponsored by Adobe, more's the pity, but you know, I do really like Photoshop and InDesign, so that's what I've always used and that's what I'm sticking with. Without further ado, or without further ado, let's get screen recording and work out where we're going to put the text. The first thing I get asked a lot is, if you haven't created your image digitally, how do you get it on your computer? Well, there are two ways. One is that you can photograph it, and the other way is you can scan it. Here I'm photographing it with my Canon camera. It's the camera that I use for filming all of my videos, and as well as doing still photographs with things, and I find it works pretty well. The other way is to use a scanner. Now my scanner is A4, so I have to scan my A3 sized picture in two parts, and in this one you can see I'm about to scan it, but it's upside down, but that doesn't matter because I can rotate it at a later date. You can fiddle about a little bit with the different settings on it. You can save it in a different format if you want to. Don't forget to name it and scan it to a particular place. And you can also mess about with the resolution, which I have done at the top right. As you go down, it says kind and then resolution. It was initially on 72 dots per inch DPI, which is fine for screen, but you cannot have 72 in your book, so you need to make it at least 300, if not 600, if you possibly can. And then once you've scanned it in, you can make sure you've saved it in your right folder and then bring it into your document. A blank page that I've given myself some borders on. There's the central where the gutter's going to be, and then this is about, I think this is 3mm from the edge all the way around. So this, where this blue line is here, this should be my trim line, and I want to come in a bit for my safe zone, but this is the bleed here. So I am going to find my images that I just scanned in, Okay, so I'm going to bring in spread 1A first of all, which is going to be the right hand side. As you can see, it is currently upside down, but we can easily change that. Here it is. So I'm just going to swing that around. By holding your shift key down, it will go to the right place. So I'm going to hold my shift key down and it should snap then to 180 degrees. So this one, I'm actually going to scan this again because you can see up here around this bit it's actually blurry. So I'm going to scan that again because I didn't hold the frame down, the lid of the scanner down like I did with the second one. But let's see if we can compare it. Okay, so that side, as you can see, is a lot clearer, and that's because I held down the lid of the scanner to really press that against the glass. So that one's good. That one can go there. You can see up here I've put my cross marks to show where the page ends. So I'm going to match that up with that one and then enlarge that so that it goes right over the edges. And I'll scan that one again. So I have now scanned this one back in again, but I'm still not 100% happy with this. As you can see, there is a line that goes down here because the change in light as I was scanning it. It would be a lot easier if I had an A3 scanner, definitely. I'm going to highlight this area and blur it a bit to see what happens. First of all, what I need to do is just merge these two together. Where is that? Merge layer, merge layers. So that is now one layer, and let's have a look. That's we could use the clone, or we can use blur or smudge. Let's try blur first of all, and I can make that brush bigger. Up in this corner here, there it is, a bit bigger. Let's see what happens if we blur that. Okay, let's try smudge. Again, we can change the brush and the size. What do I want here? Normal. Okay, that is actually smudging it a bit. What it's doing is taking away some of this lovely pattern and texture I've got. So I don't think that's going to work for me. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use the photographs that I took that are of the entire image, and let's see where that takes us. Now have the photograph that I took with my very nice camera, and I'm just going to bring it across because I have a feeling that this is going to be a much better image. Even though I scanned it in the scanner at 600 dots per inch. Let's have a look. There's the scanned version and there's the photograph. So I think I'm going to use the photograph. Let's get rid of that. Of course, it's at a wonky angle, so that's one of the things we need to change to start with. So I'm going to go down to one of the corners. I'm going to put my shift down and then release, and then I'm just going to make it so it's a bit less wonky, and then I'm going to hold my shift down again so that when I enlarge it, it enlarges both the height and the width, so its ratio is still the same. Just move that down a squidgy little bit. Okay, so I'm quite happy with the placement. Now I need to think about whether the colour needs to be changed at all, so let's just click on that to highlight it, and image adjustments, there we go. So brightness and contrast, levels, curves, exposure, vibrance, hue and saturation. So I think we'll go to that to start with. Let's bring that saturation level up a little bit, and then we can play around with the hue. So do I want it pinker? No. Do I want it yellower or more magenta-y? No. So I think actually it was around about right where I was at 0. Let's look at how light it is. Lots of light, lots of dark. Around about there, I think. Great, so what I need to do now is think about what words I'm going to put in. So let's click off that. I can lose that now, I can bin that. So let's delete layer. Yes. And then I need a new layer above that for my text. I'm going to choose my text. First of all, I need to choose my text colour. Let's get that colour picker over. Let's have a look at something quite dark. I think I'm just going to go black. Just for ease at the moment. And then my text is going to go in this section here. So I'm going to draw a box to start with for my text to go into. And there we go, we get some lorem ipsum. And then I also need to decide which typeface I'm going to use at the moment. It says Boopy, which I've used for quite a few. Let's get rid of all of that. Lorem ipsum. Lauren Angel is my friend. Oops, I'm trying to type this with a bunch of stuff on my desk. Okay, so let's see what that looks like, and also what size is it? What size is my text? I usually oh, that's way too big, that's 36 point. For a picture book, I would normally go to about 16 or 18. Let's see what it looks like as 18. Actually, I might, instead of having it in a box, I think I might actually have it free text. So let's just cut and paste that. Copy that. And then without drawing a box, if I just click on the paper, it will give me a floating bit of text. So I'm going to get rid of that. Delete. And I'm going to copy and paste that, so that I've got exactly the same typeface, colour and point size. And then the next line is, but no one else can see her. Okay, so originally I had this, no one else can see her, underneath them like that. So this is the time when you can start moving things around a bit. Let's have this at 100%. And I actually think that point size is a little bit small. So I might bring it up. So I'm back in the text tool, double click on it, or triple click on it. I might go up to 24. I think that looks better. Do the same for that one. Okay, so that's at 100%. What I want to do now is look at it as if it's in the distance slightly. So I'm just going to make the whole thing smaller to see what the balance is like. And what I'm looking for is, it's almost like you have to unfocus your eyes and see where things are. Instead of looking at the details, you have to look at the overall picture. So for example, are these supposed to be right smack in the middle of this page, this one page here? If so, if I move them across, then my tree over this side is going to straddle that gutter, and I don't want that. So I actually think they are in the right place. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Unless the only thing that we could do is move that text up here. Or move it over here, and in which case I'd need to put so we've got 2 lines, but no one else can see her. If you can hear that hooting, it means the coffee man's here. I don't know, I think I preferred it underneath. Let me know what you think. This is the opening page, so it's really important to get this right. Let's look back. By doing Command Z, I can go back to what it was like. There we go, which retraces my steps. Tell me what you think. Do you prefer the text directly underneath their feet, or do you prefer it underneath the climbing frame, or do you prefer it underneath the beginning text, Emily Angel is my friend? So they're both together. Let me know what you think. So there we go. Where do you think I should put the text? Please let me know in the comments, because I'd be very interested to see what it's like from a reader's perspective rather than just in my brain where I think it should be, as to what you like, where you like to see your text in a picture book. Alright, that's it for this week. I'm off to mush a mushroom. I will see you next week. Nanu nanu. Hey folks! If you are as excited about books and art as I am, then you might be interested in these courses that will teach you what I know. Make a Picture Book Step by Step will help you go about writing, illustrating and publishing your own picture book. It's a comprehensive course, starting with making your key decisions, and takes you all the way to making your print-ready copy. Do you need to know how to draw children, or dragons, or sea creatures? These shorter classes will help you do just that. Pop over to my website and see what's on offer. Go on, give it a go!